welcome Elaine again to the Art of Letting Go Zoom room for another live session. Good chat. I think some of those themes we discussed we'll talk about in today's lesson. We're also going to have a look at the insert, which is a new one that discusses the question, what is the ego? But let's have a look at our daily quote to start with, because that's a nice way to kick off the theme of today. It's all about freedom, overcoming fear and freedom. Okay, so I'm gonna just share my screen. If you can read that quote from Marianne Williamson.
Yeah.
Kindly, to kick it off.
Love is what we're born with. Fear is what we've learned here. The spiritual journey is the relinquishment or unlearning of fear and the acceptance of love back into our hearts. Love is the essential existential fact. It is our ultimate reality and our purpose on earth. To be consciously aware of it, to experience love in ourselves and others is the meaning of life. Marianne Williamson.
Yeah, it's a lovely quote, which I think expresses a great truth. You know, what's the only meaning of life, which is to experience love.
It is.
So Marianne, as we know, is one of the best-known teachers of A Course in Miracles. She's probably the person who popularized the Course, really. But she wrote this book called The Return to Love.
Yes, I've read it. Yeah, very good.
Reflections on the principles of A Course in Miracles in the late 70s or early 80s.
Yeah,
And just, you know, when the Course had come out, it was still relatively new, and she got on the Oprah show and it just blew up. So I mean, everyone was like, oh, Marianne Williamson, got to get a book. They read the book. Nelson Mandela, I think, read the book because he quoted from the book in his speech, his inaugural speech when he just come out of prison. He quoted that famous, quote: "Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure." That was in her book. So she's influenced world leaders. She's influenced a generation of people around the world. And taught them through her books and her teachings the basics of A Course in Miracles. So what she's doing here is just highlighting, the very basic dichotomy between fear and love, and that we must choose between these two seemingly opposite forces by letting go of or unlearning what we have learned from fear, which automatically allows love to return to our awareness. And that then becomes the meaning and purpose of our life, that process. So this is why forgiveness and your purpose are so tied together. So the formula for experiencing divine or unconditional love consistently is really very simple then. Number one, step one, train your mind to become increasingly aware of any fear. Step two, let go of any form of fear that you become aware of. Right? So it's an awareness and a letting go. Those are the two key steps in forgiveness, or letting go, as we call it. And just note that fear here is a general term that Yeshua uses in A Course in Miracles to refer to any negative, limiting, contracted thought or emotion blocking your awareness of love's presence. So fear would include things like guilt and anger and attack thoughts and jealousy and rage and sadness and so on. He labels it all as fear, which helps us categorize it as what it's either love or fear. And love we embrace and are grateful for, and fear we must let go of. So there's only two possible responses to anything in the world, which then makes it very simple to deal with the seemingly infinite complexity of this world. Okay, is it love or is it fear? If it's love, I'm grateful for it and I embrace it. If it's fear, I let it go. So you might be asking, and viewers of this might be asking, how you cultivate the awareness that's required for step one and also release the toxic thoughts and emotions in step two. Again, the answer is simple. Just follow the ideal daily schedule that I include in these daily emails. Further down, in case, I mean, you probably are aware of it, but there is a fairly comprehensive daily schedule. I mean, this is it goes into some depth. It gives you, step by step, morning, afternoon, evening, and highly recommend you're doing as much of that as you can. It's an ideal. It's not all probably going to happen, but if you can incorporate key elements of it and create some structure for your spiritual practice, that's really what it's for. So at any point in the day, you can always go and check on that and go, okay, so where am I at? And there'll be something there for you to do. But the mind training is really focused on three main things. That's reading, so reading the daily posts contained in your daily emails, Telegram messages, as well as the related workbook lesson and insert that answers a specific question. Today's question asks, what is the ego in the original and alternative forms? In the document, which I provide a link in these messages. Also, the text reading. I didn't mention that. I must put that in next time. Section 2 of the Song of Prayer, we're on to titled The Ladder of Prayer, so maybe we'll have a chance to look at that, although hour and a half is probably not long enough to do that. And what is the ego? So we'll probably just do what is the ego. Meditating and taking breath breaks. So apart from the reading, we really recommend you do a longer meditation morning and evening on the lesson, and I give you that in on the Telegram group as well as on a link in the emails. As you can see there, if you click on that. So hello and welcome to this. There you go. There's the whole meditation for you. Or if that's too long, a short breath break. And that's, if you have a difficulty, Elaine, and you found you get triggered during the day, outside of your normal spiritual practice, so breath break is the ideal thing to do. Just go, okay, and I know with your foot, you just have to, you're sitting there a lot, so just listen to a breath break and go, okay, I'll spend a few minutes and just do the breath break, do the course lesson that's embedded in there, and let it go.
Yeah.
And that's why I give you those, because it's designed to be used in these very short periods to shift your mindset to allow the miracle to come in. So you don't wait for, okay, I've got to wait hours before I do this till my evening spiritual practice or the next morning. It's like, no, I can just do this now, and that helps you immensely. I think a lot of people miss out on these daily regular breath breaks. So longer meditation, great. That's one of the foundations, but the shorter ones through the day, even if you use the text that I give you. So down here, if you see, I give you a quick process that's going to take you about a minute to do, rather than 5 minutes. Today's breath break is about 5 or 6 minutes, I think. So there's options. You can do what works. See how long it actually. So hello and welcome to this 6 minutes. Normally it's a bit shorter, but yeah, normally anywhere between 4 and 6 is the normal length. So that's 5 minutes of your time. But it can make quite a profound difference in your state of mind, because in that 5 minutes you shift and you change your state. You change your perception, you change your state. So those two really are foundational: reading both the lessons and the insert, and your text reading, or in this case we're onto the Song of Prayer. meditating, taking breath breaks throughout the day, and then finally joining the live sessions and listening to recorded sessions. So we have a live session like today, you join, and there's nothing that quite beats that, I think, because you can
No.
really do the expression and
Heart to heart,
really
yeah.
work through stuff.
Yes.
So now we only doing it once a week, but that's gonna
Very helpful.
increase once I start the new program, get some new people in. We'll increase it to, if not daily, maybe 2-3 times a week. At least. So yeah, you can join those, and there's a sort of a deep clean that happens through those sessions, and a lot of learning. And then the recorded sessions as well. While you're listening there, while you're sitting there, when I post a recording of a session, just sit and listen. You're there, and it can be going while you potentially doing an email or something like that, because it's going in the background. You don't have to just sit and listen to that, or watch it on a video, but it can just, it's like osmosis. It's like permeating in to your mind. So the more you listen to these things, the more that it starts to sit, the more it's like I just start to understand this on a deeper level, which is why this is a content intensive program. There's a lot of material that you can listen to. There's the various reading practices, because the more you immerse yourself in it, the more likely you are to get it. Things just start to gel, and you start to click in a way that you just can't if you only spend half an hour a week on it. It just, mastery happens when you immerse yourself in something.
Regularly.
Hours and hours, regularly, hours and hours a week, ideally every day, and practice like anything. If you're going to become a great cook or a great pianist, a great anything in this world, sportsman, it's daily practice. We know it's like you got to get in the groove, and you got to do it over and over. And as you start to do that, you start to develop skills and abilities that you just wouldn't get if you didn't spend the time doing it. So in the same ways, okay, just spend the time on your spiritual practice. That's why it's called practice. And you'll find these shifts and these transformations just start happening, and you're going, oh, I'm actually, if you look back, I mean, you look back 3 years ago. You've been with this program for 3 years now. You realize that?
Yes.
3 years. If you look back 3 years ago, when you joined in January 3 years ago, January, what would that been? January 23. Think back to how you were. Think back to how you are now, and if you compare the two, honestly, you'll probably see there's quite a profound difference.
Yes, there is.
In your mindset, in your attitude, just in the way you think.
Oh, yes, absolutely, yes.
Your state of mind. And, that's just because you've immersed yourself for 3 years in doing various practices. So if you keep doing that over the next 3 years, who knows? Maybe full awakening, maybe just a deeper level of understanding, of insight starts to come. I thought I understood.
It just becomes part of, it's a lifelong journey. It's become part of my life now. It's my inner guidance
system.
Yeah, my inner guidance. Yeah.
This is the way you live your life. It's not something that you do. It just becomes, this is how I live, and it's built into the structure of my life. But it takes time to install an operating system. You don't just generally get an operating system. So okay, I've got to spend the time. And on another level, if you go even deeper, it'll this will be version 2 or version 3 of the operating system. We go, okay, I get it. But then you go, yes, the upgrade of the operating system. Okay, so now, instead of Windows 7, we're now on Windows 11, because, and Windows 11 is better, faster, and so on than the previous version. So the same operating system, but you just kind of upgrade. And is there really an end to that? The only end to it is ultimate awakening or enlightenment, which is what the Holy Spirit has in store for us. So I've found on my almost 20-year journey now through the course, in fact it is 20 years this year. Hey, it's my 20-year anniversary this year of studying the course.
So it's a life journey.
I started in 2006 in around May time, somewhere around there. in the year.
Experience
So
in the year.
coming up to 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if I think back to that journey, like when I started, I just didn't really know very much. It was
Mm-hmm.
all very new, and it was like, okay, there's something here, and I thought I was getting it. After a couple of years, it was like, okay, so I think I can teach this now, but I didn't really understand it, to be honest.
No,
I understood
no.
on some level, but not on a deeper level. It's taken years and years of practice and living and applying these principles to my life to go, okay, now I'm really, starting to understand this, and the journey continues. Still
But
have
oh yeah, no,
still have
yeah,
challenges, still have forgiveness lessons, still get triggered
yeah.
sometimes, and then okay, you still got to, just do the basics, just
Mm-hmm.
practice forgiveness. Just keep doing it. Same ways. Let's say in sport, you're a great footballer. You might be an elite footballer, um, and it's interesting because often the great elites, they still work really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't
Right.
gone, oh, okay, been there, done it all, got the
Relax now.
t-shirt, I can kind of kick back and relax now. They still like, no, I'm still working at it. I'm still trying to improve. I'll give you an example of that. You probably heard of Messi, Lionel Messi.
Yes, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some say the greatest footballer of all time, certainly one of the greats.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly talented, achieved everything. He's won everything there's to win in the sport, including the World Cup. And he joined a new club a couple of years ago in America, David Beckham's outfit, Miami. And apparently, the first day that he shows up, he arrives at 6:45 in the morning,
Oh.
right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
football training only starts at 10.
Oh.
So
Mm-hmm.
he's showing up 3 hours early. There's no one there. There's like one person who's opened the building, the janitor or something, and he shows up so that he can be prepared for his first day, right?
Mm-hmm.
That shows you, like,
Discipline.
yeah, the mindset. It's like, okay, I'm taking this seriously. I'm going to show up early. I'm not going to, rock up there at 11 o'clock because I'm the great Lionel Messi and go, hey guys, no, I'm there. And the interviewer asked David Beckham, what was he doing? And he was just preparing. He was in the gym, he was warming up, he was getting familiar with his surroundings, he was sussing it all out, he was getting himself in the groove of his new club, he was soaking up the atmosphere, he was getting himself into the right frame of mind so that his first day would be, an optimal experience. In his first training session, he would be prepared and he'd be ready. And he's setting an example, I suppose, to everyone else. Say, well, if Lionel Messi can do that, why can't you? He's one of the greatest of ever of all time. Look at what he's achieved, and he's in the gym at 7 a.m. So what's your excuse? Why aren't you there?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the practice. He's training,
Yeah.
training, training. Okay, keeps working, keeps training. Um, there's no finish line to that. You just keep doing that, and even more so with spiritual practice, because we're not talking about any physical skills. We're not talking about talent and skills that, like in football, will degrade. As great as Lionel Messi is, he won't be as good in 10 years' time. This is not possible because of the physical nature of it.
Mm.
Because his body is going to age. Whereas in spirituality, you can get better and better and better at forgiveness.
Yeah.
There's no limit to that. You can, and you can attain ultimate mastery and enlightenment if you really want to. If you will train your mind diligently, and you keep doing that throughout a lifetime. So that's, why do we approach things in this world? We say, okay, yeah, I understand. If you want to be a great footballer, you've really got to train hard. If you want to learn a new skill, a new career, you've got to go to somewhere and train and spend potentially years doing that. Why do we think that spirituality is going to be any different? In fact, it's harder in some ways because you're now dealing with your ego and you're dealing with very, very personal situations, special relationships, things that trigger you. So, even more reason to be really diligent with your practice so that, because it is the most difficult thing to do.
Mm.
Would really, really, really recommend, doing the live sessions, as listen to the recordings, and the idea is to gain a better understanding. of the quotes, the comments, the workbook lessons, the section of the text or the manual for teachers or the supplements, and start immersing yourself in this. And what I found is, like, by immersing myself in this, you just start to get it. You just start to understand on a deeper level. Everything starts to fit together and make sense in a way that doesn't if you just don't do the work. Those kind of connections, those patterns don't form as well. When you spend time, then patterns form, and you just kind of get a. And this is the way we learn: it's pattern recognition. I see something and I just kind of, oh, okay, like I recognize that, I get it. That's, by the way, how AI works as well. It's all patterns.
Right.
It works very similarly to the brain in terms of patterns and you know, neural networks firing together, and you know, you learn a skill, and it's a pattern in your brain that gets activated, and you can then repeat. Okay, so that brings us nicely to our lesson. But I think let's, before we dive into the lesson, well, let's look at today's insert, which is, let's go there. Fear binds the world, forgiveness sets it free. So this is insert 12 we're on to. Which is titled, What is the Ego? So okay, so this is insert 12. What is the ego? 5 paragraphs. Shall I read the original, Elaine? You read the alternative. Yeah, you ready, Elaine?
Yeah, ready. Right. So am I reading the original?
Whichever you want to read. Whichever you want to read.
I'd start with the ego is idolatry, the sign of a limited and separated self, born in a body, doomed to suffer and end its life in death.
The belief in separation is false. The sign of a limited and separated self, born in a body, doomed to suffer and to end its life in death.
It is the will that sees the will of God as enemy and takes a form in which it is denied.
It is the, quote, will that perceives pure formless awareness of perfect love as an enemy and takes a form in which it is denied.
The ego is the proof that strength is weak and love is fearful. Life is really death, and what opposes God alone is true.
The belief in separation is the proof. I'm just going to mute you, Elaine. There's a bit of background noise there. Okay, I can't. There we go. Belief in separation is the proof, quote, proof, that strength is weak and love is fearful. Life is really death, and what opposes pure formless awareness of perfect love alone is true. Hey, you want to read the whole alternative from the top?
Yeah, the belief in separation is false, the sign of a limited and separated self, born in a body, doomed to suffer and end its life in death. It is the will that perceives pure formless awareness of perfect love as an enemy and takes a form in which it is denied. The belief in separation is the proof that strength is weak and love is fearful. Life is really death, and what opposes pure formless awareness of perfect love alone is true. It's just talking about this separated false self that we're in, at how limited it is, and it's born in this body and doomed to suffer and end its life in death. And it's,
which is all pretty grim, really. But he starts off this way because often, you know, you have to call the ego for what it is. You have to call it out and say, okay, this is what it is. He's talking about the ego. So he starts off with the the worst. Says, okay, so this is what you believe you are. And translated, the ego is just a belief in separation, which is quite helpful to remember. It's not an entity as such, it's just a belief. And it's a system, a thought system that follows from that belief. It has no ultimate reality, but the belief seems to have reality because you believe it and you give it power.
Mm.
But if there's no belief in it, then what existence does it have? If it's just a false belief and there's no more belief in it, then where's the ego? Gone. It's nowhere. There is no ego. It's just a false belief in separation, and separation isn't true. So that is, the very, very simple truth and teaching behind all of this, which is nevertheless difficult to really grasp all of the time. If we look at descent into hell, there we see the ego is that idea of separation, and then the problem is that it wasn't just an idea or a thought. We believed in it. When we made it real, we said, oh, I want that thought. I like that. So I'm going to believe in it. And I'm going to make it real for myself. And that's where the ego really got nasty and seemingly powerful, because we gave our minds to this belief in separation. Said, okay, I choose to believe this, and now I'm going to give the power of my mind over to this belief. And of course, the results are chaos.
Mm.
Massive pain, suffering, destruction, sickness, death, as we see depicted in the diagram. You go down this ladder, and the more you go down the ladder, the more the belief gets entrenched, the more the belief gets reinforced over and over, and we get into these really dark, negative, toxic patterns of thought, emotion, and behavior that characterize so much of this world. So guilt and sin, they lead to the idea of a fearful, wrathful God. And now you project all of the guilt and sin onto that, and now God is going to punish you. And so you have this fear of punishment, but you can't handle that, so you project that out onto other people, and you accuse and you blame and you attack them, saying they're the ones who are guilty and they're the ones who are going to be now destroyed by God rather than you. And you get caught up in this hellish world as a victim of it, apparently, suffering from limitation, lack, loneliness, and inevitably death. And all of that now becomes very real to you because of one idea and a belief in that idea. Because that's all it is. It's a belief in the idea of separation that caused all of this. Mind-blowing, really. You go like, wow. The power of one tiny mad idea, as Yeshua puts it. Look at what that idea has done to our minds. Look at what it's done to our so-called reality. It's caused chaos and havoc and all the pain and suffering and misery and death in the world. One tiny mad idea. But fortunately, if it's just an idea, we can change it. We can correct our minds. We don't have to believe in that idea anymore, which is where salvation comes in. So when we don't believe in the idea of separation anymore, this entire construct of the ego, this road to hell, the pathway to hell, ladder by which we descend into hell, just disappears. All the red boxes and arrows disappear. Even the need to reinterpret those, which is the blue arrows, those disappear. And what remains is pure formless awareness of perfect love, or God, which is the Course's old teachings. And just reinterpret all of these pretty awful projections, and you'll be back in God, back in pure formless awareness of perfect love. And you'll realize that you never really left, because none of this was true. None of this was real. Okay. So a little summary of the metaphysics. Given we're talking about the ego is that idea or consciousness or belief in separation at the very top of the tree. Says, I believe in separation, and now from that belief comes everything else. Okay. So you call that the master ego, super ego. And then we have our individual egos, which come about within this construct. Okay, now I have my individual separate self that believes it's a victim of the world, but it is a derivative of the master belief in separation. So what Yeshua wants us to do is get to that master belief in our minds and let it go and say, I am not separate. I am just one. I'm pure form. So when it's a perfect love, separation isn't true. And really get that on a deep level. Really not just think that, but feel that. So then we feel the peace and the love and the joy that come with this awareness. Not just thinking it, actually feeling it. Because then this thought system and this belief system of the ego no longer has any power over us. Okay, happy to go on, Elaine, to number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall I read the original this time?
Yeah.
You read the alternative. Okay, so the ego is insane, says Jesus.
The belief in separation is insane.
In fear, it stands beyond the everywhere, apart from all, in separation from the infinite.
It stands in fear beyond the everywhere, apart from all, and separated from the infinite.
In its insanity, it thinks it has become a victor over God himself.
In its insanity, it thinks it has become a victor over pure formless awareness of perfect love itself.
And in its terrible autonomy, it, quote, sees the will of God has been destroyed.
And in its terrible autonomy, it sees that pure formless awareness of perfect love has been destroyed.
It dreams of punishment and trembles at the figures in its dreams. Its enemies who seek to murder it before it can ensure its safety by attacking them.
It dreams of punishment and trembles at the figures in its dreams, its enemies who seek to murder it before it can ensure its safety by attacking them. And from the top, the belief in separation is insane. It stands in fear beyond the everywhere, apart from all, and separated from the infinite. In its insanity, it thinks it has become a victor over pure formless awareness, perfect love itself. And in its terrible autonomy, it sees that pure formless awareness of perfect love has been destroyed. It dreams of punishment and trembles at the figures in its dreams, its enemies who seek to murder it before it can ensure its safety by attacking them. So it's just saying how insane the belief in separation is. It stands for fear. And in its insanity, it thinks it's the victor over the pure formless awareness. And in its terrible autonomy, it sees pure formless awareness of love has been destroyed. And it just dreams of punishments and trembles of figures of dreams and enemies and just backfiring on itself. Attack them before they attack you, kind of thing.
Yeah, so we go back to this. You see, if you believe you're the victim of an unfair world and everyone is out to accuse and blame and attack you, you feel very threatened. And then you've got to defend against those threats, and the ego says, well, one of the best ways of defending is attack. And so now we get into this defense attack pattern, which is so characteristic of the ego, which creates endless conflict, endless drama. And that's been going on, for the entirety of human history. And it plays out on every level. It plays out on individual levels, in your personal relationships, in families, and on a societal level, one group against another, and on a national level. We're now seeing Trump wanting to go and attack Greenland. Just more of the same. Okay, let's go and attack something and just take what we want. But this is the underlying problem is the thought system that sponsors all of that. And the only way out of those behaviors is to change the thought system. You got to be aware of the thought system first, which is why he's saying, okay, this is what the ego is. Let's really look at it. Let's be honest about it. Because if we try and sugarcoat it And we think the ego is acceptable and it's okay, or some aspects of the ego okay. We kind of need the ego in this world. Spirit's a bit kind of woo-woo, and no. He's saying you need to really, really look at it, because this thought system is insane. It's toxic. It's incredibly destructive, hurtful, painful. You really can't describe it badly enough. It's a complete car crash of a thought system, and that's what he's trying to do throughout the course. Because the only way we're going to let it go is if we really go, okay, this is really, really awful. I can't entertain this anymore. I can't have any part of this in my mind and in my life anymore. It all has to go. He wants to get us to realize that and make that decision. So when we make that decision, then it's the beginning of the end for the ego. Okay, I'm done with this. You're gone. And then the ego will fight back, but at least you've made the choice. You're no longer still trying to justify its presence in your mind. Say, okay, the ego has a purpose, and the ego is still my friend in some ways, and that's just all bollocks. There's no truth to that whatsoever. And that's really what distinguishes the Course and other non-dual teachings from a lot of other personal growth, spiritual teachings. I've heard even some quite respected spiritual teachers say, okay, well, you kind of need a bit of the ego, or the ego's okay. The ego's not really a problem. It's like, no. The ego is the problem. That's the whole point. The belief in separation is the only problem that you really have. But again, they're not necessarily understanding what the ego is then. Maybe they're thinking the ego is just your personal, separate self ego, your personal personality. The ego is much bigger than that. The ego is the belief in separation that spawned the entire train smash of the universe. So that's what needs to be looked at and let go of. Okay? Happy with that, Elaine? Move on.
Yep, yes.
Son of God is, I think it's your turn to read that, if you want.
Yeah. The Son of God is egoless.
The extension of perfect love is not separate in any way. That's how I've translated that.
What can he know of madness and the death of God when he abides in him?
What can I know of madness and the death of perfect love when I live in pure formless awareness of perfect love?
What can he know of sorrow and of suffering when he lives in eternal joy?
What can I know of sorrow and suffering when I live in eternal joy?
What can he know of fear and punishment, of sin and guilt? Sin and guilt, of hatred and attack, when all there is surrounding him is everlasting peace, forever conflict-free and undisturbed in deepest silence and tranquility.
What can I know of fear, punishment, sin, guilt, hatred, and attack, when eternal peace is all there is surrounding me, forever conflict-free and undisturbed in deepest silence and tranquility?
Yeah, the extension of perfect love is not separate in any way. What I can know of madness and the death of the perfect love when I live in pure formless awareness of perfect love. What I can know of sorrow and suffering.
It's a question.
What can I know of sorrow and suffering when I live in eternal joy? What can I know of fear, punishment, sin, guilt, hatred, and attack when eternal peace is all there is surrounding me, forever conflict-free and undisturbed in deepest silence and tranquility? It's just saying that, the extension of perfect love is not separate in any way. We're all one. And the madness, what do we know of this madness and the death of the perfect love? When it is, we live in this pure formless awareness of perfect love. We won't know of sorrow, suffering. We just live in this eternal joy. No fear, punishment, sin, all of the fear, instead of, living in eternal peace that surrounds us, conflict-free, undisturbed, in silent and tranquil.
That last sentence is lovely, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Forever conflict-free and undisturbed in deepest silence and tranquility. So, little pointer to that state. If you've ever experienced a state of really deep peace, you're just in meditation and you're just like quiet.
And just in that,
The
yeah,
mind is calm.
with the
That's
nature,
where it's
yes.
pointing to.
Yeah.
Not interpolated, not all those thoughts going through your
Yes.
mind that
There's a
disturb
big
that.
difference. Yes.
Because the problem with thought is it disturbs that silence and tranquility. I've got this thought, and then I've got another one. And now I'm wrestling with thought, and all of that is covering over that silence and tranquility. It's covering over the awareness of God. It is a block to the awareness of love's presence. And that, of course, is the point of thought. The ego made up thought precisely to do that, to cover over our deeper awareness, which is God, and convince us that those thoughts and the identity that is thinking those thoughts is real, is true. But it's not. It's all false. It's all illusion. The identity is illusion. The thoughts are illusion. The only thing that's real is the deepest silence and tranquility that underlies it, which is beyond all the madness, beyond all the suffering, beyond the total insanity of a mind gone mad. Right? The ego is literally just a mind that's gone crazy. It doesn't understand where it comes from. It doesn't understand its source. It doesn't understand anything anymore. It's just gone crazy, and now it's trying to somehow manage this craziness that it's seemingly created. And that's the world we live in, right? We're all trying to cope with insanity. We literally are living in the asylum, trying to make sense of an asylum, and struggling and failing. It doesn't really make sense, if we're honest about it. Then you look at what happens on every level, and I was talking about our leaders. Our leaders are, look at Trump. Hardly sane. This is like, this is like the blind leading the blind, the insane leading the insane.
I know.
And he's supposed to now be a leader of the so-called free world, and he's about to go and attack one of his allies, and just we'll just take that because that's what our ego wants. Totally insane. Which is going to cause all kinds of ructions, but the ego is just determined. I'm going to do it. Whatever I want, I'm going to get. I'll just go and take it if I can't get it. It's so childish. It's just incredible. It's like that's the level of children at kindergarten. Oh, I want what you have. No, I'll just kind of take it, and that's okay. No, it's not really okay, because that's going to upset the other child, and it's not a loving thing to do, and it's going to cause all kinds of dynamics that are unpleasant. And it's like, you have no idea what you're unleashing when you do that. No, because I just want my toy. It's like that. I want my toy. Give me Greenland. It's my new toy. Someone should do a cartoon like Greenland with like in a gun shape or something. This is my toy, and I want my toy, and I'll do anything to get my toy. Incredibly childish. So I think we get the point. I won't harp on it, but this whole world is crazy and insane. And then he goes into this in the next paragraph quite nicely. He follows on. It says, to know reality is not to see the ego and its thoughts, its works, its acts, its laws, and its beliefs, its dreams, its hopes, its plans for its salvation, and the cost belief in it entails. If you read the alternative.
To know reality is to not see the separate self and its thoughts, its works, its acts, its laws, its beliefs, its dreams, its hopes, its plans for its freedom, and the cost belief in it entails.
In suffering, the price for faith in it is so immense that crucifixion of the Son of God is offered daily at its darkened shrine, and blood must flow before the altar where its sickly followers prepare to die.
In suffering, the price of faith in it is so immense that crucifixion of the extension of perfect love is offered daily at its negative foundation, and blood must flow before this foundation where its sick followers prepare to die. And from the top, to know reality is not to see the separate self and its thoughts, its works, its acts, its laws, its beliefs, its dreams, its hopes, its plans for its freedom, and the cost belief in it entails. In suffering, the price of faith in it is so immense that crucifixion of the extension of perfect love is offered daily at its negative foundation, and blood must flow before this foundation, where its sick followers prepare to die. Yeah, so it's just saying, if we want to know reality, then we have to see the separate self and its thoughts and all its beliefs and dreams and hopes.
Yeah, all of it. It's all got to
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
It's all part of a thought system based on one tiny mad idea that's false. That separation is true. So go back here. Everything that comes from that thought of separation is false. So now you're down here in this, apparently the world with all of its laws and all of its beliefs, this whole construct. If we look at another view of it in integral model, the it are the objective world of the body and forms, and then the interobjective, which is the systems, the networks, the governments. He's saying all of it's insane. Everything in this exterior, the exterior side of this diagram, the exterior quadrants, it's all got to go, because it's all based on one false idea that separation is true, and that's just not the case. So all of it's got to go. You ultimately collapse it all. You forgive it all. Let it all go, and you restore your mind back to the I. This is the great I am presence, which lies beyond all these things, and ultimately beyond thought and emotion and memories and states of mind and perceptions. All of that will ultimately fade away at the very highest level. There's only that deepest silence and tranquility, only that absolute peace, being called the peace of God, that surpasses all understanding by the Apostle Paul. There is only that ultimately, but it's a journey to awaken to that. It takes time and effort to let go of one's attachment to all of these things, like every law, every belief, every dream, every hope, every plan that the ego's made. You got to realize that that is false. It's illusory. It's not going to work. And maybe do that repeatedly. Just when you think you've let it go, you're like, no, actually, it's come back, because I've still got some of that belief. I'm still dreaming. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to just go away from this place? Wouldn't it be nice to have a holiday? Wouldn't it be nice to have more money? That's an ego dream. That's a hope. That's a plan for its freedom, which will cost you ultimately, because it costs you the awareness of truth, of who you really are. So the price, as he's saying, it is so immense that crucifixion, death, is the price that we all pay. And that's happening daily. You've just experienced that in your own life.
mm-hmm.
So blood is flowing all the time. People are dying all the time. Right now, someone died, and then another person died a few seconds later, and another one. And this is happening all around the world all the time. We just don't see it. We're not aware of it all. But it's happening all the time. That's the crucifixion of the Son of God, happening daily around the world. And people are then grieving. And if you don't die, a lot of people are suffering. And he's asking us, just look at this. You really need to look at this with great honesty. That's one thing this course requires, is great honesty. Okay, he's not sugarcoating anything. That's why some people find it too hardcore or too full on. One lady, Christine, knew, said, "No, I don't want to do that. The course is too full on." Okay, so what do you want? A half on teaching then? How's that going to work? If men were half on, there'd be no human race. It's like, it's all or nothing, right?
Of course.
It's all or nothing. It's like you can't kind of do it halfway. I mean, that's a ridiculous idea that's going to work. It's not going to work. It's all or nothing. Go fully into it, or or not. And that's that. But not everyone's ready for that. So that's why the course isn't for everyone immediately, because it's asking for a level of commitment that a lot of people are not willing to give. They're still committed in some way to their egos. Okay, so any other thoughts or comments or questions on that one?
No, it's clear.
All good. Okay. Shall we go into number 5 then?
Yeah. Yet will one lily of forgiveness change the darkness into light, the altered illusions to the shrine of life itself.
Yet one thought of letting go will change my separate self's negative awareness into pure formless awareness, and the foundation of illusions to the shrine of life itself.
And peace will be restored forever to the holy minds which God created as his Son, his dwelling place, his joy, his love, completely his, completely one with him.
And peace will be restored forever to the innocent minds which pure formless awareness of perfect love extends as its extension, its dwelling place, its joy, its love, completely its and completely one with itself.
From the top, yet one thought of letting go will change my separate self's negative awareness into pure formless awareness, and the foundation of illusion to the shrine of life itself. And peace will be restored forever to the innocent mind which pure formless awareness of perfect love extends as its extension, its dwelling place, its joy, its love, completely its and completely one with itself. It's just saying even one thought of letting go can change the separate self's negative awareness into this pure formless awareness.
Yeah, because in that moment, when you let go of your negativity, what remains is pure awareness. If you've really let it go, then all that's going to remain is this pure formless awareness. And you experience that. It may not last. You may go back into the negative thoughts. But for that instant, that's why the Course calls it a holy instant. For that instant, you are in pure formless awareness. You connected to it. You know it experientially. You know God in that moment. So one thought can do that for you, of letting go, if you allow it to. And so it restores everything to pure formless awareness and the foundation of illusions to the shrine of life itself. In that moment of really letting go of something, you've changed your mindset, and you have a different experience. And we've all done that. We've all experienced miracles. This transformation is what the Course would call a miracle. It's just for a lot of people, it's very accidental. Maybe only happened a few times, and they're not really sure what's going on. What he's saying with this mind training is saying you can do this in a very systematic way. You can train yourself, you can learn to do this repeatedly so it becomes systematic, and you can apply this as your default thought system in your life. And that is good. If you can train your mind to do that, it's going to make a massive difference to your quality, your experience of life, ultimately your peace, your joy, your happiness, and on a metaphysical level, attaining enlightenment is about freeing yourself from the entire construct of time and space and the idea that you're human, so you don't come back ultimately. But while you're here, you can be as peaceful and happy and loving and joyful as it is possible to be in a human form. That doesn't mean that it's always going to be 100% lovely. You'll still have moments, but those moments are short-lived.
Mm.
You're able to let them go quickly and return your mind to the love and the peace and the joy that are there, that become very much your default state as you awaken that those states of mind become more and more constant, more and more consistent, more and more established as, okay, this is my default state and I'm not wavering from this. I'm not moving from this. Or why would I want anything but peace? So the triggers come in, and it's like the more established we are in presence, the more awakened, in other words, or enlightened we are, the more we just stay there. We just don't let these things knock us off that center. Okay. So, yeah, we've still got some time. Still got 40 minutes or so. So let's read the summary, and then we'll do the lesson.
Yeah.
Meditation.
And I'll read the first paragraph. The belief in separation is entirely false and rooted in the idea of separate, limited self doomed to suffer and die in a body. It denies pure formless awareness of perfect love and perceives it as an enemy, distorting truth by claiming that strength is weakness, love is fear, and life is really death. The belief in separation is insane, imagining itself as separate from the infinite and victorious over perfect love. It dreams of punishment and perceives enemies to attack out of fear, which only perpetuates conflict and suffering.
Okay, thoughts on that?
Just briefly letting you know exactly what the separate limited self is. You know, it's pretty grim, doomed to suffer and die in a body, denying its real pure formless awareness, distorting the truth, seeing love as fear and life is really death. Just pretty grim, really.
Yeah, it's all just upside down, isn't it? It's just really backwards and upside down.
It is, yeah.
But that has to be highlighted. You know, there's too many teachers and teachings who just go, oh, the ego's okay, and we kind of need a bit of ego, and ego's not really a problem, and you know, you need a bit of ego to guide you in the world, and the course is not. If anyone says the course is saying that, they haven't understood the course at all. Never once does he say the ego is okay, is acceptable. Saying you got to let it go. He might say, okay, it might take some time to let it go. You might have a compromised approach to healing because the ego is so strong, but you're not saying, you know, that's the end of it, and you're just gonna, you know, let the ego be. Saying no, you have to undo it. That is your only task in this world. Your only function, your only purpose is the undoing of the ego, which is the same as awakening. It's an identical process. Whether you call it awakening to God or undoing the ego, it's the same. To awaken to God, you have to undo the ego. So undoing the ego, and you undo the ego through forgiveness or letting go. Okay, shall I read the next one? In truth, I am the extension of perfect love, eternally united with it. Living in pure formless awareness of perfect love, I know nothing of madness, suffering, or fear. Surrounded by eternal peace and joy, I remain unaffected by all illusions of separation. To know reality is to see beyond the separate self and its false thoughts, plans, hopes, and dreams, which really demand great suffering and sacrifice from me in return for the illusion of freedom. Thoughts on that?
Well, just letting you know that who you truly are, just emphasizing that we are this perfect love, and if we just let go, then we'll be surrounded in eternal peace and joy and unaffected by all the illusions of separation and the false thoughts.
Emphasizing that it's everything. You know, you've got to go beyond all of the ways of the separate self. The problem is we say, oh, I'm going to let go of my separate self. How do you do that? Well, you have to let go of all of its thoughts and all of its plans and all of its hopes and its dreams and its laws and its beliefs. All of it. and not value it, which is for a lot of people too radical. They're going, well, like, maybe I can get this to a point, but I can't just let go of everything, because then what would I have? Precisely, what would you have? You just have pure formless awareness of perfect love, which is God. There would be nothing else, which is the whole point of awakening. But the ego gets very scared of that, terrified, and goes, oh my God, that's death. I can't do that, so I've got to hold on to some aspect. Just give me a few scraps, a few crumbs. Maybe you're still going to believe in your special relationship, or maybe you're going to, somehow believe in the laws of the world. I was having a conversation with my sister today. It was just really, I'm like, oh, I'm just not getting anywhere. It's like round and round, because there's different thought systems going on.
Yeah.
So like what I'm saying doesn't make sense to her. What she's saying doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, are you not listening to me? She's saying, are you not listening to me? I'm like,
Yeah, it's
because
just
we're
that we've
coming
got,
from different
yeah,
foundations,
yeah. So you
and
just,
they don't agree. It's like, okay, so her law is like, well, you've got to pay your bills. That's like the primary, most fundamental thing you should do in your life is pay your bills. I'm like, okay, hang on. That cannot be correct. That could never be correct, because then the form would be real and the ego would be real. So, you know, um, there has to be something higher than that. And, our task is to live according to that, in alignment with that, even if we can't pay our bills. That's the test, isn't it?
it is, yes, which I'm going through, yes.
So it's like, but it's a different thought system, it's like, okay, well then just abandon everything else and make sure you can pay your bills, instead of saying, well, no, actually, I need to find a way to honor my highest calling, my purpose, and live in alignment with God and spirit at the same time as all of those things, worldly things, but those are secondary. Those are not primary. They cannot be primary. So you make them primary, then you dedicate your life to illusions, and your happiness is nowhere. You can't find happiness in a thought system like that. Okay, so next one, if you can read the next paragraph. In fact, I'll read the next one and you read the key
Yes,
message. I think that's a better way of doing it. Okay, so,
yeah.
but just one thought of letting go transforms this negative awareness into pure formless awareness. All illusions dissolve, and the foundation of separation is replaced by the foundation of life itself. Peace is restored to innocent minds, extended by perfect love, eternally one with it, in joy and loving awareness.
Shall I read the key message?
Yeah, just any ideas on that last paragraph?
Just simply, just even one thought of letting go can transform this negative awareness into pure formless awareness. And that's when the illusions dissolve and it's replaced by who you really are, which is innocent and eternal.
Yeah, foundation of life itself, and peace is restored. So, I mean, what he's saying is it's that profound. Like you let go in any instance where the ego is challenging you, that's enough to take you back to pure formless awareness. So why wouldn't you do that all the time? Why do we hold on? Why do we delay? Because we're scared, because the ego is terrified that if it lets go, then what will be left? If it's not there, what remains? And that's the existential crisis we all face. That's why we find forgiveness difficult, because we feel like, on one hand, we're suffering and we want relief from the suffering, but on the other hand, we don't want to let go of our separate self, because who would we be without the separate self?
Yeah.
But we can't have both. We can't let go of suffering and hold on to our separate self. They're incompatible. So you have to choose. Okay, is it going to be the continuous pain of the ego, or is it going to be the temporary pain of letting go? Right, that discomfort, that it's not easy, but rather that than this ongoing, interminable, hellish seeming reality where you're just stuck in the ego and there's no hope. Okay. So if you want to read the last paragraph, which is the key message.
Yeah, the belief in separation is false and insane, leading only to illusions of sin, guilt, fear, and suffering in many forms. In truth, I am the extension of perfect love, eternally united with it in peace and joy. By letting go of my belief in separation and separate self, I will awaken to eternal life and live in joy and love.
Yeah. Just put in peace there, maybe. Okay. Any thoughts on that?
Just briefly, just letting us know how insane this belief in separation is, of sin and guilt and fear and suffering, when the truth is that we are eternally united in peace and joy. So letting go of this belief in separation will awaken us to this eternal life of peace and joy and love.
Yeah, really, really simple. It's a really simple teaching and message. The course is not complicated. But to actually practice this, to actually do it, is a process and a journey, not a theoretical exercise. It actually needs to happen in your mind, moment by moment, which is what the course is aimed at teaching you to do. Okay, so I think that prepares us nicely for the lesson. Shall we move on to that?
Yes.
Unless you've got any other questions about this one?
No, it's all good.
Yeah, so just remind you that you're supposed to read this every day before you read each lesson, because the lessons are very short, so it's an extra 5 paragraphs of reading. Just read, reflect, contemplate. And I've been doing that every day. I have to say, it works. There's a lot of a depth of understanding maybe that comes when you read this over and over, that if you just go, okay, I'll read it once and that's fine.
Yeah,
You don't
no,
get
you do.
again, there's that practice element of just like, the more I read it, the more I reflect on these ideas, contemplate them, the more it sinks in, the more things start to happen on a deeper level of understanding that just one reading can't give you. Generally, you might have some epiphany on that reading, it's possible, but generally it's just, this is like osmosis. Just let it simmer in, just let it sink in. Read it, even though you read it yesterday or you read it this morning, read it again. Just let it permeate in. So this becomes what he's trying to train us to do, is that it becomes your default understanding. This becomes your default understanding and therefore new thought system. And that just happens automatically, like an operating system automatically, operates a computer. It's just happening right now. This is only possible because the operating system for the computer, Windows, is doing its thing, and we're not even aware of it. That's what I mean by default. It's okay. So you're forgiving by default. You're letting go and forgiving by default, moment by moment, which puts you in the present moment, which puts you in a state of peace, joy, and love. And that's a default mode. You just stay there because now you've trained your mind so well that you just remain there in this default operating system and resultant state of mind. And that is called enlightenment. You can stay by default in a state of peace, joy, and love in an insane world. You're enlightened. So that's the goal. In practice, we're going to get tests, we're going to get triggered, we're going to move off the default, we'll go back into the ego, but then our task is to get back into spirit and truth as quickly as possible by practicing letting go. Apply the lesson to whatever the situation is. Okay, so speaking of lessons, that leads us nicely into today's lesson. 3:32. So let me just. Okay, so this is lesson 332. Fear binds the world. Forgiveness sets it free is the original. If you want to read the alternative.
Yeah. Oh, just 2 seconds there. I'm just letting the cat in. Yeah.
Okay.
Just 2 seconds there. Right. I'm just on my way. Snail please. Right. Yeah, sorry about that. Right. Fear binds the world. Forgiveness sets it free.
Yeah, and then read the alternative.
Fear imprisons the world. By letting go, sets it free.
Yeah, I quite like that image, you know, of the fish jumping into the clear waters. It's like just freeing yourself from all of that, and that's what letting go does. It's like jumping into the clear blue waters, the clear ocean, the blue ocean, if you like, if you want to use in business terms. By letting go of your existing business model, you jump into what's called a blue ocean. And in that blue ocean, no one else is really there, no one else is competing. In the same way, in forgiveness, you go into a clean, clear, open space where you don't have all of the thoughts competing for your attention anymore. You're just in this open ocean, this calm, quiet, peaceful state, which is freedom. You know, in that state, you will feel more expanded. You'll feel freer. That's what we call freedom. Okay. So shall I read the original? You read the alternative. The ego makes illusions.
The belief in separation makes illusions.
Truth undoes its evil dreams by shining them away.
Truth undoes its evil dreams by shining them away.
Truth never makes attack.
Truth never attacks.
It merely is.
It merely is.
And by its presence is the mind recalled from fantasies, awaking to the real.
And the mind is recalled from fantasies by its presence, awakening to the real.
Forgiveness bids this presence enter in and take its rightful place within the mind.
Letting go. Where am I? Number 5?
6.
Yeah, 6. Letting go invites the presence to enter in and take its rightful place within my mind.
Without forgiveness is the mind in chains, believing in its own futility.
When I fail to let go, my mind is in bondage, believing in its own futility. Deep.
Yet, with forgiveness, does the light shine through the dream of darkness.
Yet when I do
offering it hope and giving
Sorry.
it the means to realize the freedom that is its inheritance.
Yet when I let go, pure formless awareness shines through my dream of negative awareness. Right. Yet when I let go, pure formless awareness shines through my dream of negative awareness and suffering, offering it hope and giving it the means to realize the freedom that is my inheritance.
And from the top?
Yeah. The belief in separation makes illusions. Truth undoes its evil dreams by shining them away. Truth never attacks, it merely is. Oh dear. Right. And the mind is recalled from fantasies by its presence, awakening to the real. Letting go invites this presence to enter in and take its rightful place within my mind. When I fail to let go, my mind is in bondage, believing in its own futility. Yet when I do let go, pure formless awareness shines through my dream of negative awareness and suffering, offering it hope and giving it the means to realize the freedom that is my inheritance. Okay. It's just saying about the separation makes illusions and truth undoes this evil dream, and it never attacks, it just is. And the mind is recalled from the fantasies by presence. It's just saying letting go invites the presence to enter in and take its rightful place within the mind. So when we do fail to let go, then the mind is in bondage, believing in its own futility. So when we do let go, this is when the pure formless awareness shines through the dream of negative awareness and suffering, offering hope and giving the freedom that is really our inheritance.
Yeah, same message. This every lesson really says the same thing. Forgiveness or letting go is the answer. That's what's going to heal this really disastrous thought system of the ego and all of its apparently disastrous consequences. Only forgiveness or letting go is going to heal it. So why wouldn't you do it? If that's the only answer to all the pain and misery and suffering of the world, why wouldn't you do it? And the only answer is because we value our separate self more highly than the truth and than our true peace and love and joy. We want that separate self to carry on existing, even though it's a car crash. It's horrendous and painful and miserable, and ultimately we're doomed to die. We don't want to give up on the separate self, which of course is totally insane, because why would anyone choose suffering over love, peace, and joy? But that's what we do when we hold on to the ego. It makes a very convincing argument of why we should do that, doesn't it? It's got many ways in the world to convince you that holding on to the ego is a good idea. So this is why we need the mind training of Yeshua or another spiritual teacher like him to teach us that is really not a good idea. This is not something we want to do. So the ego is not our friend. Okay, so if you can read that slide, Elaine.
Yeah. My fear binds the world, my forgiveness sets it free. Inwardly, all our brothers are walking around under a cloud of self-blame. This cloud constantly whispers to them, you have failed to love. Your love is weak and fickle. You steamrolled at others to get your way. You negatively impacted their lives and didn't care. They needed you and you were too busy.
Okay, thoughts on that?
Well, it's, yeah, pretty
Well,
common.
there's a
Pretty
bit more
common.
there. Our
Oh,
forgiveness
here.
opens the
Our
door.
forgiveness opens the door and invites the radiant truth back into their minds, and their illusions are no more. Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting, the diagram and this image of a door. So the door is not outside of ourselves. We're all looking outside, but it's actually internal. That it's an inner door, and we walk through it by changing our mind. And when we're in that better place, if we look back from the other side of the door on all of these pictures, all these illusions in our life, they look different and they're transformed. Our perception of them and ourselves in them has changed. And that's what forgiveness does. It is the most powerful psychological process in the world. There's no doubt, because it completely changes your mind. It changes your identity. Ultimately, it gets you out of the dream of time and space, collapses time, space, forgiveness. That's how powerful it is. Okay, so thank you to Kat for the diagram. Some of them are really good. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, they are.
It brings us to paragraph 2. So again, so shall I read the original? You read the alternative.
Yeah.
We would not bind the world again today.
I choose not to imprison the world again today.
Fear holds it prisoner.
Fear holds it prisoner.
And yet your love has given us the means to set it free.
And yet your unconditional love has given me the means to set it free.
Father, we would release it now.
My source, I choose to release it now.
For as we offer freedom, it is given us.
For as I offer freedom, it is given to me.
And we would not remain as prisoners while you are holding freedom to us.
And I choose not to remain a prisoner while you are offering me freedom. On the top, I choose not to imprison the world again today. Fear holds it prisoner, and yet the unconditional love has given me the means to set it free. My source, I choose to release it now. For as I offer freedom, it is given to me. And I choose not to remain a prisoner while you are offering me freedom. Now, we are just sort of saying that fear holds us prisoner, so we have the choice, because unconditional love gives us the means to set it free. So we can choose that now, and we offer freedom, and it will be given to us. So we've got to make that final decision, or not final, but moment by moment decision. Either being a prisoner or setting ourselves free.
But it's stated in very, stark terms. He does that intentionally because that makes us come to a decision. Say, well, it doesn't really matter what I think. Saying, no, it absolutely does matter what you think. One thought system imprisons you, the other one frees you. So it really does matter, and you need to choose wisely. Don't just be sloppy with your thoughts. Most people are far too sloppy with their thoughts, way too permissive of the ego, and there's not enough discipline. The way out of the world is through a disciplined approach, disciplined thought and emotion, and action to follow it up, rather than just like a one-hit wonder type thing, where there's no consistency. Speaks back to our beginning point about, okay, if you want to be free, what do you need to do? You need to put in the hours. You need to put in the work that's required for spiritual practice to awaken. Okay, so there is another slide, one more, and then
or as we offer freedom, it is given us. The promise of this lesson is that if we give forgiveness to the world, setting it free from its bonds, then we will receive the freedom we gave. For as we offer freedom, it is given us. By setting the world free, we set ourselves free. The truth will enter the darkened room of our own mind and shine all crippling fears away.
And then the final sort of
It is freedom.
Insight.
Yeah. It is freedom from a mistake of sense of sinfulness.
Remember, the ego's thought system is based on the idea of separation. And so we believe that we have destroyed oneness. In order to be a separate self, you must have destroyed God or oneness. And because of that, you now feel guilty. You now feel like you've done this terrible thing of destroying God, love oneness, and now you're guilty for that. And that then forms the underpinning of the idea of separation. You have all the sin and guilt going on, and then that causes the fear, and that causes us to project out of our minds, the trigger out of our minds, and it causes endless projections. All the accusation, the blame, the attack, and death are part of this thought system of separation underpinned by sin and guilt. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So a mistaken sense of sinfulness is all we've got to free ourselves from. If we think we've sinned, we are mistaken. Because you cannot sin against God because separation isn't true. How can you have destroyed God if there's no separation? It's perfectly logical from the Holy Spirit's point of view. There's no separation, then guilt and sin can't be real, and these are just more illusions. Even if you've gone to such great lengths, you created a whole alternative universe and world to try and justify that the guilt and the sin and the fear are real. They're not. Because fundamentally, at the very core of that thought system that underlies the world is a false idea. Okay, sort of separation being false. So there is no sin, there is no guilt, because there's no separation. It's so simple. Once you reinterpret all this with the Holy Spirit, it becomes incredibly clear, incredibly simple. You just then have to apply it rigorously, without exception, in every situation, which then becomes the practice. And that, once you accomplish that, that's full transfer of training, as he calls it. So this thought system of the Holy Spirit has now been applied to every aspect of your life to awaken you to who you are and simultaneously let go of any belief in the ego. Question on that?
Yeah, no, that was Dave coughing.
Right. Okay. So that is it for the lesson. Unless any other thoughts, comments, or questions you want to discuss. Nothing we haven't heard before, but just saying it in another way. And
Yeah.
the idea is to try
Well,
and
it's to
get it
put it into.
experientially. So should we try
Well,
a meditation? Do you want to do a
yeah, that would be good.
med to finish it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, only a pleasure. Okay, so this is a 20-minute meditation on lesson 332. Fear binds the world, forgiveness sets it free, or in alternative language, fear imprisons the world, and my letting go sets it free. So just making yourself comfortable, sitting with your feet shoulder width apart, your back straight. Cup your hands in your lap, close your eyes. And start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. Just breathing in, seeing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. And the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. Notice any thoughts, any emotions going on, particularly anything that feels unpleasant, difficult, as the Course terms it in this lesson, evil, an evil dream, maybe a situation, person, circumstance in your life is triggering unhappy thoughts. Just breathe into all that. Remind yourself that fear is really the only problem. Fear is what binds the world and binds me, or imprisons. So fear imprisons the world and me, and my letting go sets it free. Exhale on the truth of that. Have a sense of just letting go. Pull the stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. Find a sense of peace and stillness. So resting in this peace and stillness for a few moments. Now listen to these words in a nice, calm, quiet, empty state of mind. So just breathing in and out through your nose. Focusing on the breath, subtle sensation of the breath flowing into your nostrils and out of your nostrils. Focus on that. That's going to give your mind something to focus on rather than its thoughts. And let the breath take you into a very calm, quiet, peaceful awareness. And now in that awareness, just allow these thoughts to drop in like pebbles in a pond. So carry on breathing while I speak. Just listen to my voice as you continue breathing, staying in this very calm, peaceful state of mind without illusions. So Yeshua says the belief in separation, being the ego, just makes illusions. But truth undoes its evil dreams by shining them away. Truth undoes its evil dreams by just shining them away. So go within, notice any of these evil dreams, notice the thoughts that go with those evil dreams, the emotions. Remind yourself that truth never attacks because it merely is. Have a sense of that isness, that beingness, that's here now. This presence is always there by its presence, by this presence. Is the mind recalled from fantasies, awakening to the real. So my mind is recalled to fantasies by its presence. So forgiveness, or letting go, as we term it, invites this presence to enter in and take its rightful place within my mind. So as you breathe in, just imagine this loving presence coming into your mind, into your awareness, to your heart. Feel this presence, the breath take you deeper into this presence. And allow this presence to deepen in your mind. This is its rightful place. It's your true mind. It's your true awareness. You've got to invite it in because we've allowed false awareness to take the awareness of our true self's presence, to exclude it for too long. Only this is real. So letting go invites this presence to enter in and take its rightful place within my mind. So just invite it in now, breathe it in to every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is in this presence. When I fail to let go, my mind is in bondage, believing in its own futility. Yet, with forgiveness or letting go, when I do let go, in other words, then the light or pure formless awareness shines through my dream of darkness or negative awareness and suffering, offering it hope and giving it the means to realize the freedom that is my inheritance. Offering it hope and giving it the means to realize the freedom that is. So have a sense of hope being reborn. So you breathe in. So have a sense of this freedom that's awaiting you. My fear binds the world, say to yourself. My forgiveness sets it free. Inwardly, all our brothers are walking around under a cloud of self-blame. And this cloud constantly whispers to them, you have failed to love. Your love is weak and fickle. You steamrolled others to get your way. You negatively impacted their lives and didn't care. They needed you and you were too busy. If you feel any of those thoughts are true, case, Just now allow a door in your mind, a door we call forgiveness. It's a process of opening of the doors of your perception, one might call it. So open the door and invite the radiant truth back into your mind. Breathe in to do that. Just allow a sense of peace, joy, love to arise, no matter what feeling might be blocking it. This deeper feeling is always there with underlying world. Say, I choose not to imprison the world again today. As you breathe in, it's light. Fear holds it prisoner. And yet, your unconditional love has given me the means to set it free. Breathe in that love. Imagine it's flowing into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body. Every part of your mind, every fiber of your being is in this unconditionally loving awareness, which is your source. Say, my source, I choose it. To let it go now. All fear is gone now. Exhale. Use the breath to help you let it go. Imagine you just blowing. All fear, like a dark cloud or black smoke leaving you away. It's going, gone. For as I offer freedom, it is given to me. And I choose not to remain a prisoner while you're offering me freedom. State that intention. Because as we offer freedom, it is given to us. Promise of the lesson is that if we give forgiveness to the world, setting it free from its bonds, then we will receive the freedom we gave. As we offer freedom, it is given us. By setting the world free, we set ourselves free. The truth will enter the darkened room of our own mind and shine all our crippling fears away. So just breathing in. If there's anyone whom you are holding any kind of grudge or grievance against, or maybe it's a situation. Maybe it's an organization. Just release them now. Give them freedom by letting go of any blame, any judgment, any attack thoughts. Breathe in this loving awareness into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. Imagine the light flowing into every cell, pore, muscle of your body. And just allow this light to shine in you. The truth that will shine away all the darkness, all the negative awareness. And this is freedom from a mistaken sense of our own guilt, our own sinfulness. So breathe in this light, this freedom, this truth, this love into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every fiber of your being. Hold the breath briefly for a few seconds. Feel this loving awareness infusing every part of your mind, every part of your body. You're encompassed by it, you're enveloped by it. And as you let go, as you exhale, just let go of any remaining darkness. So any negative thoughts, any sense of sinfulness, any fear, any attack thoughts, any sadness, guilt, grief, sin, in all of its forms, just blow it away. All of that is just false. All of that is just a mistake. Blow it all away with the breeze of your breath. The nothingness that it really is. It's going. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And just rest here for a few minutes of deep silence. There's nowhere else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just watch the breath flowing in and out of your nose. Let the breath take you deeper and deeper with each breath into this very still, calm, relaxed state of mind. Beyond all guilt, beyond all sin, beyond all fear, lies the truth. It's been called the light, it's been called freedom, love, peace, joy, love, whatever you want to call it. Just allow yourself to experience that state for a couple of minutes of deep silence now. Thoughts come up, seem to disturb this peace and this freedom. Notice them and just remind yourself, as I offer freedom, so it is given to me. Fear imprisons the world, my letting go sets it free. Breathe in this light. Into any areas of darkness in your mind, into any areas where you're feeling it in your body as tension, Any kind of contracted, limiting feeling is fear. Breathe it in and shine the light of your true awareness into it. And then let it go with your breath. Exhale out and imagine that that darkness is leaving you. Like a dark cloud or a black smoke. Just letting go of it. It's going, gone. So nothingness that it really is. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And just rest in this loving awareness, which is freedom, for another minute or so of deep silence, which has nothing else to do, nowhere else to go, just experience the love, the peace, the joy this lesson points to as who you really are. That and that alone is freedom. Yeah. Now just gently coming back now. Bring your attention back into the body, the breath, senses, and the world. And on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises, the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Just pausing at the top of the inhale, smile. Scan your mind. Notice thoughts, emotions, body sensations going on. Just anything that still doesn't feel right. Remind yourself of the lesson. So you breathe in again, say, fear binds the world, forgiveness sets it free. Or if you prefer the alternative, fear imprisons the world. And by letting go, sets it free now, not sometime future, past, right now. So exhale on the truth of that, blowing all this darkness out, a dark cloud or black smoke, leaving you. It's going, gone. The lower stomach into the spine, expel the last remaining air out. And just rest here. Notice how the weight of your body is pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Notice what you're feeling and touching with your hands. As you breathe in, notice maybe a subtle smell in your nose, taste in your mouth perhaps. Notice what you're hearing in the surrounding environment. Noticing all these things from this very still, calm, and peaceful place. State of mind with no judgment. In other words, no illusions, just pure awareness. You can bring that awareness with you into all of your perceptions for the rest of the evening and on into tomorrow and the rest of your week. So it is said, so it is done. Now on the count of 3, open your eyes. So just take a minute to look around. Just spend a minute to ground yourself back into this apparent world. Notice as you're looking around, up and down, to the side, how calm and peaceful and free you feel, compared with maybe when you started the session or even 20 minutes ago before we started the meditation. And anchor this state in. This is the state of freedom that this lesson points to, beyond all fear. So remain in it. If you need to top yourself up with a lesson, just remind yourself of the lesson and one idea and one breath at a time. You awaken to the truth. Maybe you're only one breath away from freedom. And so that brings us to the end of the meditation and the session. So thank you, Elaine.
Yeah, thank you. That's very good.
Yeah, very good, very
Very
good.
good. Yay.
Hey! Yeah, well done. It's always something to be, yeah, but I think celebrate the wins. You know, you're talking about being grateful for the miracles, and a session like this in a world that's as insane is actually a
Miracle.
miracle. It's
It
a little
is.
miracle,
It is.
a little blessing, and in the darkness of the world that we can have these sessions and, you know, be
It
grateful for the
softens it.
time.
Yes, it does.
And this amazing technology, you know, is now being used for good, because we can connect even though we're
The
thousands of
internet is
miles
excellent.
apart.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, just very, you know, very grateful for what we have, that there is grace, there is guidance, despite the sanity of the ego and the tests and the challenges. Spirit is
Yeah.
always there guiding us home
Yeah.
if we allow it to. Just mustn't block that process.
Yeah. Great.
So keep on the journey.
Will do. Yes.
And I'll see you
See you
again.
next week. Yeah.
I'll see
Have a
you again. Yeah, I'm doing a masterclass next Thursday. So if you know anyone interested, please talk to them about it. I'm going to put out some stuff about it and send them the links. And yeah, if you can, let's do then Wednesday next week. And if you can join on Thursday, that'd be amazing. Even if it's just for half an hour to give a little testimonial. But we'll talk about that next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So see you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see you Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday. Yep. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or would Tuesday be better?
Well, at the moment, I'm not going anywhere for.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. So I'll let you know either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, just let me know. Yes, no
Okay.
bother.
All right.
Okie doke.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
night. Namaste.
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 Bye. Okay. So that is a wrap for today. Thank you to Elaine for joining. If you watched along live or you're watching the recording, there are a couple of things you can do if you want to go a bit deeper into these teachings and learn to master the art of letting go. Why not subscribe to the channel? I'm putting out free content. You may as well enjoy it. At the moment weekly, but it's going to probably end up being 2 or 3 times a week from February onwards, mid-February onwards, when we start the new Art of Letting Go course and program. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, head over to lifebuild.com, sign up to the Telegram group. It's a free group to which I send some of the content that I shared today, the daily quote every day, my comments on it, a mind training lesson from A Course in Miracles, often some other resources, sometimes a discussion session, ebooks, and so on, all free, and a mini meditation breath break on the lesson so you can practice it, as well as invitations to join these live sessions on Zoom with the Zoom link. So a lot there, a lot of value, and you can get it all free at lifebuild.com. You just need a Telegram account, and you put in your mobile number that's connected to that Telegram account. I will add you to the list, to the group, and voila, there you go. You'll be receiving these from tomorrow. You'll also get notifications about things like the How to Letting Go Masterclass, which I'm doing next week, Thursday. If you're watching this live, from 7 p.m. UK time. That's 9 p.m. South African time, 8 p.m. Central European time, and I believe 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go to lifepool.com, sign up, and I will be sending all the details of that to the group. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate your time, presence, and all it remains for me to wish you namaste, which means the true self in me that is always loving, peaceful, and joyful. Acknowledge and honors that same true, loving, peaceful, joyful self, Christ self in you. Much.